Good morning, Algebra 2 students, for Mr. Leininger, Fry, whomever now. You're working on this assignment, slope-intercept form worksheet. I'll have a couple of the other worksheets in the next couple days, but I wanted to work on this one first. And it says first, find the slope of the line through each pair of points. So you're given this formula where you take your second y value minus your first y value and divide that by your second x value minus your first x value. And that will give you your slope. So what does that mean? Well, you're given 2 points and you have your first x, first y, second x, second y. I label them because it makes it easier to see. And you take your second y, which is -3, and you subtract the first y, which is a -7. Subtracting a negative is adding. 2 negatives make a positive when you're dealing with it in that capacity. So it becomes -3 plus 7 as your numerator over my x's. My second x is 5 and my first x is 8. So 5 minus 8. Just following this formula right here. And then I end up getting 4 over -3 or just -4/3. So remember, your slope is rise over run. This is rise over the run. So if I was to graph this, since it's negative, it's not really a rise, it's going down. So it's down 4 over 3, always working left to right. So down 4 over 3, if I was on this graph and say I had a point here, I would go down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 over 3, 1, 2, 3. So this point to this point, and I would draw a line that would be, you know, if my y-intercept was +4. I don't have any y-intercept here or anything. I just, you know, I'm finding the slope. So that's what that slope would look like. Go ahead and try B on your own. Go ahead and make mistakes. We learn from that. And I have my x and y 1s and my x and y 2s listed here. And I plugged them in. Remember, 2 negatives make a positive. I end up with a -5 over 4 for C. For the next section, it says write the equation of the line in slope-intercept form. So they give you a line and you're supposed to write the equation. Remember, the equation in slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept, or where it crosses the y-axis. So where does it cross the y-axis here? So remember, this is your x-axis, this is your y-axis. Y-axis is vertical. X is horizontal. I'm going to see this line cross right here. This would be 0. This would be a +1. So I have a +1 for my my b, my where it crosses the y-axis. My slope. So I could start here. I could start anywhere where it crosses perfectly, you know, and count, you know, which direction it goes and how far it goes over. So the rise over the run. Remember the rise over the run? So this one goes down, so it's going to be negative. So it goes down 1 over 1, 2 before it gets to the next point where it crosses perfectly. So down 1 over 2. So negative down 1 over 2. There is my equation of this line. Any x value I put in here will give me that y value where it ends up on that line. Pretty cool. Okay, this one. I have no b here because it's 0. It crosses the y-axis at 0. So I could put a +0 there, plus or minus 0. It doesn't make a difference. It's 0, so I don't put anything back here. So I just have a slope. So I'm at 0, and it goes up 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2 before it crosses. Okay? So I have up 3 over 2, so it's a +3 over 2 for my slope. And that's it. That's my equation of the line there. I only have the slope. And then this one, it crosses at -2, so I have a -2 for my y-intercept. And so my slope, if I start there, it's going to go down 1 over 3 before it crosses at the next intersection of x and y coordinates. So down 1 over 3. So this is negative 1 over 3. Okay, moving on. So try the other ones on your own. Go ahead and make mistakes. A few of these. In each linear equation, identify the slope and the y-intercept. So I highlighted it. So the slope in this one would be the positive 4. The y-intercept, the b, would be negative 5. Got to have that sign in front of it. It makes a big difference. The slope in this one is negative 1. It's just written, they wrote this kind of backwards. So a negative, there's nothing in front of that x. So you assume there's an x there, so that's 1 times x, so it's a negative 1 there. And the y-intercept is 2 over 3. This one they have in the correct order. The slope is 5 over 2, and the y-intercept is negative 19 over 8. So you would have, this one, like down here, f, you're going to have to rewrite in the correct direction. D, you have to rewrite in the correct direction, and this one you have to just, they have the y-intercept first and the slope and the x second. You just, put those in the correct order, and you'll be able to see those easily. On the back, you are to find the equation of a line in a slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. Some of these are easy, like this first one. They tell you what the slope is and they tell you what the y-intercept is, so you just plug them in. So this one would be y equals 2x minus 7. Very easy. Now, this stuff, you kind of have to go back and remember how to do these, as I did. So I'm given the slope, negative 4 over 7. M is the slope, negative 4 over 7. And then they give you 2 points. Now plug in these 2 points. If it goes through these 2 points, well, you could figure out what the y-intercept is by solving for b and plugging my x value in for x. 14 goes in for this x value, and my y is going to equal 3, so I have 3 there. And I just go ahead and solve this. Negative 4 sevenths over 4, negative 4 sevenths times 14 is negative 8. And then I just isolate the variable. So I add 8 to both sides. 11 equals my y-intercept. So I have y equals negative 4 sevenths x. We knew that from the beginning. Plus 11 is my formula for any x value and x and y value. You'll get, you'll see that that line intercepts at 11 on the y-axis, and it goes down 4 over 7 at every perfect intersection for x's and y's. And number 9, you do the same thing. I'm going to plug in my x value and my y value in order to solve for b. Notice this was a negative 1, the slope, so negative 1 times 9 gives me negative 9. That's why it looks like that. I have 13 equals b, and so my equation ends up being y equals negative 1x plus 13. You could have written it like this. You don't have to write the 1 there, so it could be y equals negative x plus 13. You could write it like that too. Try the other ones on your own. For number 5, you're supposed to graph these. So for this one, first one, my slope is 3/4 and my y-intercept is negative 3. So I go and I always find the y-intercept first, negative 3. So I went over here and I went to negative 3, boom. And then the slope is up 3 over 4. So up 3, 1, 2, 3, over 1, 2, 3, 4. All you need is 2 points, draw your line, and this is 5A right here. Okay, go ahead and try B and C, and you could pause this. I rewrote B and C, so it looks a little bit more like this. They just, want to confuse you, want you to think how it would look in slope-intercept form. So you have to rewrite it in slope-intercept form, with the y first. Okay, and then lastly, I have here word problems at the car rental company. You must pay a flat rate of $130 and then a daily fee of $17 per day. Write a linear equation to describe the total cost y of renting the car for X days. What is the cost of renting a car for 9 days with this company? So Here's your flat rate, and it's 17 per day, so days are going to be X. So let's go 9 days and plug it in there, and you get Y equals $283. Okay, for this one, you have the gym membership, and it's $25 a person back in 1995. The membership cost has gone up by an average of $6 per person each year. So $6 each year, 6 times each year. So they want to find out in 2009 what would the price be. So from 1995 to 2009 is 14 years. So I plug that in for my X because that's the years, and you end up getting it's 109. So hopefully this helps, and work on the other ones, and I'll get the other worksheets out there to you too.